guys called me delusional earlier. I know I'm biologically white. I feel it through my veins and through my blood. I know my race, and I'm a proud white person.
Okay, well, Adolf Hitler was a great man.
Well, I mean, I don't have any problems with myself. I honestly think that God made one perfect person. It's me. I am nowhere near delusional. I'm actually very capable and a very intelligent person, so.
So this is Alex. Alex isn't her real name, but I will not be using her real name just because I do not want to give her the attention she is so desperate for. You guys may recognize her from the Dr.Phil show. She appeared in 2018 as the girl that believed that she was white, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about how she was outed as fake 2 months after the Dr.Phil show aired. And I do think it's no secret that reality TV is fake. However, the danger and the stupidity of this girl and her family is very real. I hope you guys enjoy this one. This is just one part of a series I'm doing on hate baiters on the internet, and I really hope you guys enjoy. I put a lot of work into this. Okay, let's get into it. Now, I'm not going to show the episode of Dr. Phil. If you want to see the full video or a reaction, there are other channels that have reacted to this Dr. Phil episode. However, that's not the focus of this video, nor is it the reason why I'm making this video. What I want to do is I want to show key points in the actual episode that I feel are very interesting and that I feel will add more to the main focus of this video. So the first thing I want to point out about this episode is that Dr. Phil constantly repeats that Alex's mom and brother are not on board with her behavior and that they are completely against it.
Okay, you're shocked by this, right?
Mortified.
Randall is here and says it crushes him that his own sister is a racist and says hateful things against African Americans.
And Dr. Phil even states that he is not doing this for any monetary value or shock value.
And I want to tell you, I'm interested in doing this story because I think it's a teachable moment and not for sensationalistic shock value because of some of the outrageous things that she says. So I don't think she's doing them to get attention. I think she's doing them because this is how she actually feels and believes.
Which ironically makes me believe he absolutely is doing that. And I don't agree that she truly feels this way. Maybe she does. I don't know. I mean, I'm no psychiatrist. And again, Dr. Phil, neither are you.
Pow.
And it's kind of clear that that's what they're doing. Like I said before, it's really no secret that reality TV is just completely fake. And speaking of fake...
Okay, Treasure, how are you this morning?
Pretty great. How are you?
I'm all right.
That's great.
Now, you've been listening to everything we've talked about so far,
Yes,
right?
I have.
And if you wouldn't use that word.
Yeah, well, okay, well, I'll understand, only because I'm a very respectful person.
Well, how do you think it would go if you showed up at a KKK rally?
I mean, I'll tell them I'm one of them. They would be like, okay, hand me a robe.
She has talked about having her skin bleached.
Yeah, like Michael.
I don't think she really identifies as Caucasian. I think she identifies as racist.
They come across as very fake and fabricated. Just the way they talk just sounds very disingenuous. And you can tell they're trying to get that little Dr. Phil viral moment because they keep saying outrageous, over-the-top things. And just pay attention to the mom's body language. Every time she says something, she looks at the crowd to gauge their reaction. And it makes it very obvious that they're just trying to get a little viral clip.
And you are so ill-informed. You say, like, you know, the prisons are full.
Have you looked at the statistics?
Pardon me?
Have you looked at the statistics?
Yes, I have,
well,
as
then
a
you
matter
should
of
know
fact.
that African Americans are the most incarcerated people out here.
Oh, really?
So, yes.
Okay, well, let's actually talk about that because according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the prison population is 37.9% black and 58.2% white.
Well, you're not looking at factual information.
This is one of the rare occasions where I did agree with Alex, because I actually looked into the Bureau of Justice, and no, it wasn't. And I thought, oh, maybe he's talking about California, where he films his show. So I looked that up too, and no, it wasn't. So I'm not sure where he gets this information, and even if I am looking in the wrong place, you know, I didn't do an uber super deep dive into the prison system. I just noticed Dr. Phil will say warped or fake information on his show just to prove a point. And I understand that this isn't the worst thing that he's done on his show. However, it's very obvious that he's only doing this for the ratings. Whether he wants to say that he's doing this for a teachable moment or not, he's full of crap. And I just feel like it's worth mentioning because I feel like rather than helping this girl, he more hindered her. And we'll get more into that in the next segment. So a little while after the Dr. Phil episode aired, her older sister sister actually came out with a live stream that basically exposed the whole family for being fake and faking their way onto Dr. Phil for, you know, notoriety and a free trip to California. And this is kind of the smoking gun that I really wanted to point out. And the fact that this came of light, that she was faking her way on the show, makes you think how many other people have faked their way on to Dr. Phil. Just before we move on, I just wanted to add a little side note. There was a couple months after she appeared on the Dr. Phil show, there was a missing persons report filed for her. I'm not saying that, you know, this was another stunt by them, but I do know for a fact that she is alive and well to this day. Given their track record, it's just something to think about. You know, she could have gone missing, she could have not, but it just seems very fishy that that happened so quickly after the Dr. Phil show. However, I do find it hilarious that they felt the need to mention that the defining detail about her is the gap in her teeth. They really did leave no stone unturned.
Insta post saying she only had one sibling. Of course, I mean, I've watched it before she blocked me, but she has 6 other brothers and sisters on my mom's side, and she has her biological father has some kids of his own. Has your sister come at you? Not in person. She tried to call me last night, but regarding, I do not want to speak to her on the phone. If anything, I'd see her in person and probably whip her ass. I gave her whoopings all the time coming up, so I mean, I'm her big sister, so it's like, it is what it is.
You know, this is one thing that really stood out to me, because she claims that she is the older sister and that Alex has a lot of other siblings, which is kind of wild because the mother, I believe in the Dr. Phil episode, claimed that she only had the 2 kids, or at least alluded to that. She never mentioned having any other kids. So it really seems like the mother has cut them off, because not only does the big sister talk about how they have multiple siblings, she also says that they all are not on board with what their mother is doing. So it almost seems like the mother kind of cuts off people that she can't manipulate or spin the narrative on, and it's almost like the mother is manipulating the younger ones into being her little puppets. You know, you always got to look, if there's a child that's out of control or being really crazy, you don't look at the kid, you look at the parents. And I'm not going to sit here and point fingers only because I don't know their personal life. I'm just saying what it seems like to me from what I've seen.
Everyone's lying. Everyone involved in that special, my mom, my brother, and my sister, are liars, and they all need to be called out. She is not a natural racist. She never was, and wasn't even raised like that. Was raised around black people all her life. I think there is some self-hate there. What did your brother lie about on the show? About pretending that she was a racist. They're all doing it because they wanted an all-expense paid trip to California.
So she claims that the mother, the brother, and her sister all lied and faked their way onto Dr. Phil for an all-expense-paid trip to California, which is extremely stupid, especially to cause all this controversy just for a free vacation. I mean, shit, just download Expedia. I'm sure you can find cheap plane tickets there. And, you know, you could be thinking to yourself, okay, this might just be the reaction of a jealous sibling, you know, that didn't get invited on the Dr. Phil show. And whether that be the case or not, it's what she brings up next that is really concerning and kind of the reason why I'm making this video to begin with.
Right now, CPS is closed, but tomorrow I'll be calling them, giving them all of her information. Honestly, I could put all of her information out there, but that's a scary thing to do because there are now people who want to kill my sister. Where y'all mom? My mom's, where y'all from? Oh, I'm from Detroit.
And that is the scariest part about this. They are from Detroit, Michigan, which is one of the most violent cities in the United States, with thousands of crimes happening every day. And what really kind of rubs me the wrong way and kind of actually pisses me off is that Dr. Phil put these people on a pedestal and ran this story knowing that this little girl is from Detroit, Michigan, knowing what kind of violence happens in that city, and he still put this obviously fake story out there, potentially putting her life and her family's life in danger. Understand that this is a stupid and potentially dangerous idea. I don't think you really have to be a doctor to figure that one out. And to be completely objective and putting my personal opinions aside, I do acknowledge that it is not outside of the realm of possibilities. They did play on Dr. Phil's kindness. However, given Dr. Phil's track record and all the controversies that have come out about him, I just find that very far-fetched.
Why would you call CPS? Because she's on the run from CPS. She is basically a criminal. She hasn't been to school in years, and her school would call and leave phone calls looking for her, saying where she's at. My mom lost custody because she was going to go to jail because stopped going to school for a while. She's like, CPS started looking. So now she's supposed to be going to juvenile. And she's supposed to have been in juvenile for a while. She was supposed to be locked up.
So there's a lot to unpack here. Not only is the mom not taking care of her kids, she hasn't been. I just find it very ironic because she goes on the Dr. Phil show saying that she wants the best for her kids and wants to get Alex help, but yet she doesn't even have the initiative to take her to school or make sure she's attending her classes and getting an education. And the fact that CPS has been looking for Alex and is after her just kind of shows what kind of household she is growing up in. And I feel like this is just painting a completely different picture than the sweet, helpful mother that was on Dr. Phil. I also wanted to add, I cut the clip out, but according to the daughter, they didn't even get paid from the Dr. Phil show. They just got free food and a place to stay, which makes the situation even more stupid than it already is. In this next little segment, I get really personal and the video kind of takes a tonal shift. I do encourage you to watch it. However, I do understand if you don't want to watch it, especially if you're very sensitive to child abuse or such topics. So if you don't want to watch it, go ahead and skip to this number right here. But yeah, the video does take a really hard left turn. So if you guys don't want to watch it, you don't have to. It really isn't going to hurt the video, but all right.
Did the stepdad die? I consider that my real father. I do not refer to him as my stepdad, but he died in 2006. My mom was neglectful and abusive and a liar, and she did a lot of stuff I would consider more evil than what she's done now. My mom stopped taking care of her, and she kind of had to fend for herself out in the streets and out in the ghettos. And one of her jobs was, when my mom stopped taking care of her, she would go to door to door pretending like she was a part of a church and asking people to donate to her church, and she didn't even go to church.
So this segment took me a little bit to gather my thoughts on, and I had to redo it a couple times. Her sister opens up about the abuse in their life, which, I mean, was pretty obvious that there's abuse going on, and I can sympathize with that a lot, and I picked up on the signs almost immediately because I grew up in a very abusive household. And I'm not saying that to get pity or garner sympathy. I'm saying that because, you know, this stuff is real. You know, it's not, I feel like it's not really taken seriously very much, and it's hard to get people to listen. I know firsthand how tough that is, and I really urge people out there to pay attention to the signs. You know, I mean, the fact that she is trying so hard to get attention and doing anything she can to get attention is a blatantly obvious sign that there's something not right going on. If you ever suspect abuse going on, whether it be at school or someone you know, I seriously urge you to call this number and report it. And I really hope that this can reach someone and help someone in need, because, like I said, this is not taken very seriously. I think the reason why I'm so fired up about Dr. Phil and, you know, everything going on is that he could not see the signs as a so-called practicing psychiatrist. And the fact that Dr. Phil used this situation to get views and ratings really disgusts me on a very personal level, and I don't feel ashamed of saying that.
Dr. Phil already didn't do his research, because you can see posts from my sister saying stuff about, you know, Black Lives Matter and blah, blah, blah. If he didn't do his research on that, him and his people, then why would they do research seeing, like, okay, is this girl legit? Like, is this her mother? That could have been her sister, and, you know, she could have lied and said it was her mom. Dr. Phil's an asshole, yes.
So in that last clip, she just drives home the point that Alex was never like this before she got on the Dr. Phil show, and just makes it very apparent that the Dr. Phil show, or at least his team, did not do any research into her or made sure that she was legit. And that just really drives home the point that I made earlier, that he honestly just did this for ratings, and it's disgusting. You know, for someone who claims so much to help people, it doesn't really seem like he helps anyone but himself, and I'm really glad that his show's canceled. Fuck you, Dr. Phil. You and your team are a disgusting group of individuals that prey on victims. However, a fun fact about Alex is that she's a fellow YouTuber. She hasn't posted in a little over a year, but I mean, I found her YouTube channel and it's basically exactly what you'd think it'd be, you know, just a lot of clickbaity stuff where she posts classics such as why I'm voting for Trump and do Black Lives Matter, and she really says a lot of just outrageous things, obviously to get attention and stir up controversy.
Okay, well, Adolf Hitler was a great man.
And you might be thinking to yourself, Chris, she was 16 when all this went down. You know, she's probably grown and matured by now. You know, a lot of people do crazy things when they're young. And she's now 21 years old. And I also know that she has an Instagram that is active to this day. So let's see how this flower has blossomed. Yeah, so her Instagram is basically just like her YouTube, you know, a lot of just shit posting and a lot of crazy, outlandish things being said on there. And, you know, when she was a kid, you know, you can excuse that kind of behavior. But as an adult, I feel like that's, you know, where you kind of got to draw the line and start holding these people accountable. And that is why she is the first of many people I like to call hate tubers. I just want to end this off by giving some advice to this girl. Buy a PlayStation, get Call of Duty, you'll fit right in. But no, all jokes aside, I really encourage her to seek help. Actual, real help, not from someone who's had his medical license revoked a number of times. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate if you guys stayed till the end. I put a lot of time and effort into this video. Thank you guys so much for getting me to over 100 subs. It's freaking awesome. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. You guys enjoyed it. Just remember that you are loved and important.